So, you're in that golden age range of 55 to 75. You've likely worked hard all your life, seen changes, perhaps raised kids, maybe even retired. But if you're being honest, how often do you sit back and think, am I really living my best years? Or am I just letting them slip by? Well, here's the thing. Many people between the ages of 55 and 75 are stuck in a cycle of inaction, just waiting for something to change, or worse, waiting for life to slow down. They get comfortable with the idea that their best years are behind them, and that's where things start to go wrong. Let's face it, you've worked hard, and there's no reason to coast now. It's time to wake up and realize that this is your time. The golden years aren't some distant dream, they're happening right now. Here's the problem. Too many people think that once they reach a certain age, they're supposed to sit back, relax, and simply enjoy the rest of their lives. But that's not the case. You've probably heard it a million times, take it easy. You've earned it. But deep down, doesn't it feel like there's more you could be doing? More you could accomplish, more you could experience, more you could contribute? Yet, instead of stepping up to make the most of your golden years, so many of us let the years pass, doing the same things, stuck in the same routines. It doesn't have to be this way. The statistics don't lie. A study by the National Institute on Aging found that many older adults experience feelings of loneliness, isolation, and even depression. In fact, over 30% of people aged 65 and older report feeling lonely on a regular basis. Loneliness can be a silent killer, linked to higher rates of depression, heart disease, and even early death. If you're thinking, oh, but I'm not lonely, ask yourself, how many times have you found yourself in a situation where you could be doing something more, something exciting, but instead, you choose to watch the same show or sit around waiting for life to happen? Now, I'm not saying that you need to go out and run a marathon or start a new business, unless you want to, of course, but there's so much more to life than just existing. The golden years should be a time of growth, learning, and exploration. If you think that life has passed you by, it's time to hit the reset button. You have more to give, and you deserve more. Look, you might be thinking, but it's too late for me. I'm too old to start something new. That's simply not true. The truth is, people are living longer, healthier lives than ever before. According to the World Health Organization, the global life expectancy has increased by over 30 years in the last century. That's 3 extra decades of life. So, the idea that your best years are behind you? Throw that thought out the window. In fact, this might be the best time to finally start something new or rediscover a forgotten passion. Did you know that learning new things and staying mentally active can actually help delay the onset of cognitive decline? A study published in the journal Neurology showed that older adults who engage in mental exercises, like reading, doing puzzles, or even learning a new language, have a lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. So, not only can you enjoy life more by staying engaged and curious, but you're also giving your brain a workout, which can keep you sharp for longer. Let's talk about health for a moment. Now, you've probably heard it a million times, take care of your body, eat healthy, and exercise. It's one of those things we all know we should be doing, but sometimes, it's just easier to tune it out. You might think, well, I've been getting by fine all these years. But here's the kicker, what you do now has a huge impact on your future. It's like saving for retirement, but instead of money, you're saving energy, mobility, and mental clarity. Think about it, how often do we put off taking care of ourselves until something goes wrong? You know, you wake up one morning and your knees hurt a little more than usual, or you're out of breath climbing the stairs. It's easy to just shrug it off and think, oh, that's just age catching up with me. But here's a little wake-up call. The CDC reports that nearly 70% of adults aged 65 and older have at least one chronic health condition. That's a pretty big number. But here's where it gets good. Many of these conditions are actually preventable or at least manageable with a healthier lifestyle. That means you have the power to take charge of your health, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming or drastic. I get it, though. It's easy to feel like you're stuck in a routine, especially when you're feeling tired or like it's just too late to make big changes. Maybe you're thinking, I don't have the energy for another workout routine or fancy diet. But let me tell you, this is where the magic happens. Small steps lead to big results. It doesn't have to be about running marathons or joining a fancy gym. It could be as simple as adding more movement to your day, or even changing a few of your daily habits. One of the best stories I love to tell is about a woman named Linda, a spry 70-year-old I met a couple of years ago. She'd been walking around the same block for years, but she started mixing it up. Linda added a little stretching routine before her walks. Then she tried some yoga, then a bit of dancing. And over time, she started feeling like a new person. She had more energy, her joints felt less stiff, and she even started biking again, something she hadn't done in decades. The point is, it doesn't take a massive overhaul to make a difference. Maybe for you, it's as simple as swapping out a bag of chips for a handful of almonds or replacing your sugary afternoon snack with an apple. Even just taking a short walk every day can make a huge difference for your heart and mental health. It's like building a savings account for your future well-being. Putting in small deposits now means you'll have more energy and vitality to enjoy life later on. And I know, you might be thinking, but I'm tired. Where do I find the energy for all this? Well, here's the truth, starting is the hardest part. Once you begin, even with small steps, your body will reward you. You'll start feeling better, you'll have more energy, and over time, you'll find that you actually crave those little bits of movement or healthy food. There's something magical about how small changes create a positive feedback loop. For instance, you might find that after a few days of cutting out processed foods and focusing on fresh fruits and vegetables, your energy levels soar. And the best part? It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. And let's be honest, who doesn't want more energy and vitality in their golden years? Imagine feeling sharp, light, and ready for anything, whether it's playing with the grandkids, going on a hike with friends, or simply enjoying a leisurely walk in the park. Health is your foundation. Without it, you won't have the energy to truly enjoy all the wonderful things life has to offer. So, why not start now? Take that first step today, and soon enough, you'll see just how much of a difference those small changes can make. After all, you deserve it. Let's not forget about relationships because this one is a biggie. You know, as we get older, there's this funny thing that can happen. You might find yourself losing touch with old friends or even feeling a bit distant from family. Maybe the kids have grown up and flown the nest, and suddenly, it's just you and the four walls. The house seems quieter, and sometimes, it can even feel like you're drifting through life a little bit. But here's the thing, this is the time to really pay attention to your connections with others. Relationships are what truly fill our lives with meaning, no matter how old we are. Whether it's with family, old friends, or new faces, those relationships are everything. Take it from someone who's been through the ups and downs of life stages. I know a lady named Joan, who was in her mid-60s when she realized that she hadn't had a real conversation with her best friend from childhood in almost 2 years. The kids had moved away, and Joan had found herself spending more time alone. She was feeling disconnected, and honestly, a little bit lonely. But one day, Joan decided to pick up the phone and call her old friend. That one phone call turned into a weekly lunch date, and before long, they were making plans to travel together. Those simple acts of reaching out and reconnecting brought so much joy into her life. She felt more alive, more vibrant, and less isolated. It was like adding a little spark back to her daily routine. And you know what? That's what relationships do, they spark something inside of us that helps us live a longer, more fulfilled life. In fact, studies show that social connections play a huge role in our overall well-being. A study published in the American Journal of Epidemiology found that older adults with strong social ties tend to live longer and healthier lives. Yes, that's right. People with meaningful relationships are not just happier, they're healthier. So, if you haven't reached out to that old friend, cousin, or neighbor in a while, it's time to make the call. Why not schedule a lunch date? Maybe even join that book club you've been eyeing, or volunteer at a local community center. It doesn't matter if it's family or new acquaintances. What matters is the connection, the shared moments, and the feeling that you're not in this alone. Remember, it's never too late to form new bonds. Life is full of people just waiting to connect, share stories, and laugh with you. So, don't wait any longer. Pick up the phone, send that text, or step out of your comfort zone. After all, you're in charge of the relationships that shape your golden years, and trust me, those relationships will be the ones you remember most. Now, let's talk about the fun stuff. How about travel? Remember when you were younger, and you'd sit around dreaming of places to visit, but life always seemed to get in the way? Work, responsibilities, family obligations, you name it. And somehow, those dreams of exploring new destinations always felt just out of reach. But here's the good news, those dreams don't need to stay dreams any longer. Now is the time to start planning those trips and crossing them off your bucket list. Whether it's a place you've always dreamed of visiting or a destination that has piqued your interest recently, now's the time to make it happen. The world is full of options for travelers over 55. Gone are the days when you had to choose between expensive, exhausting tours or nothing at all. Today, there are so many travel options to suit every need and preference. From group tours tailored for older adults to independent explorations, you've got so many ways to experience new places. Not only is travel a great way to experience different cultures and meet new people, but it can also give you a renewed sense of energy and excitement. Traveling makes you feel alive in a way that very few things can. And don't even worry if you don't have a travel buddy. Trust me, you're not alone in that boat. Solo travel has been on the rise in recent years, especially among older adults. A study by AARP found that nearly half of adults over 50 take solo trips at least once a year. That's right, half. And you know what? Traveling solo can be one of the most rewarding experiences. Not only do you get to make your own decisions about where to go and what to see, but it's also a fantastic way to meet new people. Whether you strike up a conversation with a fellow traveler or make a connection with a local, solo travel opens up doors you might never have imagined. Plus, solo travel often leads to unexpected adventures, and you just never know what new things about yourself you might discover along the way. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, but what about my comfort zone? Ah, the comfort zone. It's a cozy little bubble we all like to live in. It feels safe, predictable, and easy. But here's the thing, nothing ever happens inside your comfort zone. The magic, the excitement, the joy of feeling truly alive? That happens when you push yourself outside the bubble. Whether you're trying a new hobby, making new friends, or traveling to a place you've never been before, it's all about getting uncomfortable. And you know what? That's okay. In fact, it's a sign of growth. If you stay comfortable all the time, you're missing out on the best parts of life. Sure, it can feel a little nerve-wracking at first, but that's what makes the experience so rewarding. Traveling isn't just about seeing new places. It's about experiencing life in a completely different way. It's about stepping into someone else's world, even if just for a short while, and seeing what you can learn from it. Maybe you'll learn a new language, taste new foods, or gain a new perspective on life. All these little experiences add up, and when you come back home, you'll realize you're a different person, one who is more open, more adventurous, and more connected to the world around you. And honestly, how many of us can say we're too old to grow and learn? The truth is, you've got so much more to offer at 55 and beyond. You're never too old to take a trip that will change the way you see the world, or yourself. It's easy to fall into the mindset that once you've reached 55, life is supposed to slow down. That's what everyone expects, right? That's when you kick back, relax, and coast through the years. But here's the thing, who says you have to slow down? You've still got plenty of time to make new memories, try new things, and embrace opportunities that come your way. Whether it's a career change, starting a creative project, or exploring the world, you've got so much left to give. It's time to stop waiting around, thinking you've missed your chance. Your golden years are happening right now. Why wait for the perfect moment when you can create it yourself? I recently met a woman named Kathy, who at age 62, decided to leave her job as a schoolteacher and pursue her dream of becoming a travel blogger. She was nervous at first. After all, she had spent over 30 years in education. But she pushed herself to step out of her comfort zone and hit the road. She started small, documenting her trips to local places, but before long, her blog took off, and she was traveling to all corners of the world. Kathy's story is proof that it's never too late to start a new chapter. She's not only living her dream but also inspiring others to do the same. So, why not you? Now, if you're thinking, okay, but how do I afford this? Don't let that hold you back either. Travel doesn't have to be expensive. There are plenty of affordable options out there, from staying in budget-friendly accommodations to booking flights during off-peak times. And don't forget about all the amazing discounts available to older travelers. From senior fares to special deals at attractions, there are tons of ways to save while still having the adventure of a lifetime. It's all about planning ahead and being open to new experiences. In the end, the point is simple: your golden years don't have to be about slowing down. They can be about embracing everything life still has to offer. Travel is one of the most exciting, fulfilling ways to do that. So, start making plans. Whether you're taking a solo trip or bringing along friends and family, there's a world out there just waiting for you to explore. And the best part? You don't have to wait until tomorrow. Your adventures can begin today. So, here's your challenge: start small. Make one change today. Call that old friend. Take a walk around the block. Try a new recipe. Sign up for that painting class. Whatever it is, just take the first step. Because if you don't, you might look back in 10 years and wonder where all the time went. Don't waste it. Your golden years are waiting for you to grab them with both hands.